So RGT85 and I were playing this game, and I gotta show you the funniest thing in 3, 2, 1, and the arena explodes, and his character is still frozen in that animation until I kick him out of the way. This game will have some flaws, and you'll see other people talking about that, but I have had so much fun with this game. It is AEW Fight Forever. I don't need to tell you, I'm sure you already know, it was heavily inspired by those Yuke's engine games on like the Nintendo 64, games like No Mercy, WrestleMania 2000, and whatnot. And it's a little bit like that. You catch some of those similarities for sure. It's not exactly like those kind of games, but very similar, both in control style as well as gameplay. But there's still a few things in this game that the other ones didn't provide, which is pretty neat. And again, you gotta remember that No Mercy was the game that a lot of people considered the best wrestling game of all time, but there are so many other games before No Mercy that led to that. So if this is the first of these, and I think it's super fun, so if AEW Fight Forever is the first of the AEW wrestling games, and then next we might get All Out or Full Gear, crossing my fingers we'll get an AEW Forbidden Door. Wouldn't that be amazing? It's a great start. And I've had a ton of fun with this game and continue to have fun with this game. Lots of gameplay styles for sure, including just your basic one-on-one, two-on-one, three-way matches. In lieu of the Royal Rumble, there is the Casino Battle Royal, little confusing, but still works out pretty well. Exploding Barbed Wire Death Match, we'll show a little bit more of that later in this video as well. There's a ladder match, there's even mini games and stuff like that too. And like the other games, there's also unlockables. You can earn money or earn, what you need to unlock moves or items when you build your own arena or build your own wrestler and stuff like that. Not as many things I would have liked to have unlockable. I would have loved it if there were more like hidden wrestlers or more things that you could unlock, but again, get what you get. So we'll just take you through a basic kind of one-on-one style match here. I'll be Adam Cole versus Pac. I didn't capture any footage of it, but there is also intergender matchups. So if you want to play as a woman and the other guy wants to play as a dude, nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, you'll see ladies come in through the Battle Royal segment, so. The first thing that might be a letdown for some wrestling fans is the ring entrance is like 5 seconds long. You do not get the full entrance. You just get, here's the meat of it, here you go into the action. And you know what? No Mercy and the other games were a little like that too. It's just the quick and easy. Maybe not this quick, but just enough. I do also like the fact that with your buttons, you control the pyros. So you ignite the missiles or the fire or drop the confetti. You get to control that. Whenever you want to just keep on mashing the buttons, you get all the pyros. That was kind of a fun idea. And instead of having attack, grapple, run, you have punch, kick, grapple, run for your 4 main buttons. And then for your shoulder buttons, you have block, you have the thing that turn them around, maybe something to get in and out of the ring. And then one of the buttons is just to Irish whip them whenever you can. Kind of nice to have that Irish whip just as needed, And then your wrestling match, it is just your basic, you can punch and kick, you can grapple. Once you're grappled, you can do other punch and kick style moves, or, like a weak grapple, stronger grapple, just like No Mercy, where you can do other moves too, depending on which direction you hit, as well as which button you hit. Every wrestler manipulates the same, but some of them have other moves they can do. You know how that works. Honestly, don't need to talk too much about the wrestling grapple style. It's very similar. Casino Battle Royale, well, this is, again, not exactly the same. A little interesting. I'm doing the Casino Battle Royale here. I am playing as myself, as an edited character, and not just as easy as some of the other games where you just Irish whip them and then run behind them and then clothesline them out of the ring, or give them a big old Yakuza kick out of the ring. You do have to weaken them enough and then whip them to the ropes or try to get them to go over the top rope. So, again, fun to be had with this game. With the other wrestling games, I usually almost exclusively play the Royal Rumble mode. And oddly enough, in this one, I've done it a few times, but not as much. It's still fun, though. It's just the perfect mode that will just last a while for you. I still haven't won a match in this mode, but, I'm still having fun with it. Again, he's on the mini-games down here. Like, mini-games, well, these are just for fun. And you do some of these mini-games when you play the story mode. There's a quiz, a questionnaire type, mini game. Sure. There's also a little rhythm style, parappa style in a way, match the dance moves. Why not? I'm all about the edit a wrestler feature in any wrestling game. It's like, well, okay, well, how can I put myself in there? Or how can I create my own characters? Or how can I create wrestlers who maybe aren't in the game? But you certainly have the movesets, you certainly have the taunts and everything. It works out pretty well. It works out pretty well. So I'm just quickly, you know, as you can see here, I'm just making a generic character here. You got your, you know, different outfits, different tops, different bottoms. Unfortunately, with this game, it also has some kind of detection where it's like, well, you can't use this element in your outfit because they are already doing this other thing, which collides or clashes or something with that. So that's kind of annoying. Tons of moves to choose from, and again, selecting your moves for which ones you want to do. Similar to the other games, unfortunately, this one doesn't tell you, like, oh, you know, like here are just the grappling moves, or here are just the submission holds, or here are just the moves that will lead to a pin, if you'd like to pin them immediately afterwards. I wish you could categorize them a little bit more than that, than just here's new, here's favorites. You know, I wish there's a little bit more than that. So right now you just get a gigantic list to cycle through, and then you find the ones that work best for you. Doable, but, you know, wish it was better. Create your entrance. Well, again, your entrance is only like about 5 to 10 seconds long anyway. Not a whole lot of time, but along with your music and even like your background video and all that, the how you walk to the ring I thought was interesting because you might do a hand motion, but you can control what your hand is doing. You know, do you want to flash a peace sign? Do you want to flash a high five or a thumbs up or something like that? You know, I thought that was a pretty interesting way of doing it. And again, like when you control your pyro, you can choose the pyro, and then as the game is playing, you get to ignite the pyro whenever you feel like it. So maybe you raise your hand in victory, or not, it wouldn't be victory, but you know, maybe you point to the camera, then as soon as you point to the camera, you can hit your own button, and that's when the flames launch, or something like that. It makes it kind of fun. You know, add some little background elements to it. And here's the final product.
Making his way to the ring, wrestler number 1.
Give yourself a name, give yourself a pose. Now I didn't name the character, so it still says custom wrestler by default, but the first time I saw this is All Elite, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It's like, I didn't even think that they were gonna do that, but they did it, and I think it's awesome. So make sure you grab a screen, make sure you get the screen capture as soon as that flashes. And then immediately, as always, you can just go right into the action. And this mode is a lot of fun because with the lights out mode, there's so many weapons and a lot more weapons too. There's even weapons that can like confuse them. So like if you put the garbage can over their head, your controls are reversed. So down goes up, left goes right. You know, like put the chair over their head. That's always a fun idea. Lots of different weapons underneath the ring too. I was pleasantly surprised. Are there thumbtacks in this game? Yes, there are thumbtacks, but before we talk about that, we gotta talk about the skateboard. You can find a skateboard under the ring that you can use, and you can also literally skateboard with it, which I thought was the coolest idea ever. Actually skate around the ring and use that as a weapon. The best thing ever. I would have never thought about having a skateboard in this game. You know, the fire extinguisher to, you know, mask what move you might be doing. That's kind of fun. But again, with the thumbtacks, yep, you can drop the thumbtacks on the ground and, you know, use those to your advantage. Yeah, this game does not shy away from the blood a little bit, you know, sure. Online capabilities. Now, again, earlier, as the first thing in this video, RGT85 and myself played a few rounds of this together, just so I can capture some quick footage. Now, make sure you keep an eye on his channel as well, for his video review as well. And he said that earlier he was playing with someone else, and it wasn't this staticky or sporadic. Now, again, my Wi-Fi is not the best, so keep that in mind that this may not be the most optimal Wi-Fi experience. But what you're seeing is what I saw, which might be what you see when you're playing this game. And I am playing this game on a Nintendo Switch. Another thing to keep in mind, I don't know if it's going to be any different than on any other platform. Now, RGT85 and I played some online rounds, and this is what happens when it renders in, and you see Sting, and then it turns into, you know, he gets his graphics in. Very cool. Now, I don't have the best Wi-Fi ever, so keep that in mind when you're watching this gameplay, because you might see a couple of, you know, stutters, you might see something that doesn't quite, you know, wouldn't look like a matchup, and this is might be the thing where you get other people in other videos maybe kind of talking about that. Now, I'm not planning on playing this game online a whole bunch. I'm planning on playing this game on flights, just for fun. I'll pop it in and just play a couple rounds or two just by myself, just for fun. But I understand that there's also going to be a huge idea for people to play online. But it does have that option, both in a private match, so you can actually link up with someone on your friends list, or you can also play it just like a ranked match where you'll just get matched with someone else. And who knows, you might see me pop up a little bit too when this game is officially launched. Now, we played the ranked matches. So instead of us linking together, we just said like, hey, no one else is playing this game, so we'll just look for a match, and then of course we found each other. But what RGT85 was telling me, because he linked up with one of the friends on his list with the Beat 'em Ups channel, and if you are in a private match, there is native speak, so you can actually chat with each other natively through this game and not through the Nintendo Switch app or whatever that is. Very, very cool. Anyway, very, very fun to be able to do this, at least for a mode. And again, we just played a couple of rounds, then it's me versus, him, Eddie Kingston. In a lights out match. These are always fun. And then we did try that exploding cage match just to, just to see what happened. And then you remember what happened there was he kind of froze in action. So something to watch out for. But I mean, I don't doubt that they're going to have some patches later on in this game either. And I did do the storyline. I completed the story mode. It did not take very long. I didn't actually calculate how long it took. An hour or two, something like that. It didn't take very long at all. You basically just kind of go through a year as a just through the year. And what gets me though is I had to and spoiler alert, Paul White showed up, and he's in there, but not as a playable character, and not someone I can unlock, not someone I can download. So maybe he'll show up later, like as a DLC, as a bonus. I don't know. I know there are other wrestlers who are showing up later, like Danhausen, like FTR, and stuff like that too. So a lot going on with this game up front, right out of the gate. Are there flaws? Well, yeah, there's a couple of them. And it didn't stop me at all from loving this game. I had a lot of fun with this game. I'm still having fun with this game. And I want to let you know too, because you're going to watch other videos. Do not take my word for it. Watch the other videos that are out there, of which I'm sure there are several. And you'll see people just picking it apart with a fine-tooth comb, and that's fine. Me, for what this game is, for what it is, for how it plays, I think it's just fine. And I'm looking forward to more of it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm a huge wrestling fan, and maybe you'll see me online, challenging you sometime in the future in the ranked matches or something like that, just for fun.